And welcome to Hero Power 2021. I'm your host, Avantes, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang? We haven't done this in a while. Almost forgot how to.
We haven't done it all year.
Yeah, yeah. So we took a break for the holidays,
Yeah,
and then we had to take a break last
last
week
week.
because of last minute family stuff that happened
Yeah,
out of the blue. So, you know, uh, here's being with you, Avantes. I know you had some family stuff going on. Hopefully, everything's gotten better.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's good. Wife and I had to go spend some time with a friend whose father passed last week. Uh, she and
that's
I
important.
both had to work yesterday. They had the funeral yesterday. We weren't able to attend, unfortunately, but because we took off last Sunday instead of doing the show, we were able to spend some time with him. And
Good.
so yeah, though it was good. I hate that we didn't get to record last week, but we didn't have a whole lot of news to talk about last week, unlike this week. So I guess, Blizzard
Yeah,
realized it and worked it out in our favor. So,
we'll get into that news because it kind of just dropped like at the end of the week, which is a little crazy. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been doing in Hearthstone these last few weeks. I have been playing. THL started back up, and I started out really bad.
mm-hmm.
And this week I redeemed myself by going 3-1. Right now we're tied. We have one more match. Hopefully we can win this week. So we had a slow start, but that's pod people for you. We tend to either start strong or start weak or finish weak, but we usually end up making the playoffs one way or another. So um, hopefully we can pull out this week. Sway Bay's playing, so big shout out to her. And then I was playing on the ladder and ran into a player who ended up winning against me, and then he friended me afterwards, and I accepted it. And it was Drew for you, listener of the show. So big shout out to Drew for you. And he was like,
Awesome.
I was afraid you weren't going to accept it. And I was like, I always accept friend requests, even the salty ones. So big shout out to Drew for you. And speaking of salty ones, I had a really amazing salt tweet that's on my Twitter at Zeroshio. You should go check it out. A little bit of language in it, but so I won't say it here on the show. But somebody was very salty over my deck choices, and I made sure to let him know I was a content creator and I created stuff for Hero Power at HeroPowerHS.com, and he should go check it out. So he did check it out and gave me a bunch of criticism for the way I looked and how many viewers we have. And all I got to say to that is thank you for the hit on the website.
That's right. Absolutely.
So I'm all for it. But other than that, the rewards track has been kind of a hot button topic with the big recent changes
Yeah.
to the levels, and that after you hit 50, you get 50 gold, which is really really nice. So you haven't hit 50 yet, have you?
I have not. However, by the time our listeners are listening to this on the download on Monday, January the 11th, I will be 50. I am
Okay, cool.
currently only like 3,597 experience points away.
Cool.
So I'll do my daily quest today, and then when the weekly
Knock out a
quests hit
weekly, yeah.
tomorrow, I'll knock out one of those, and I'll be 50, and I'll have my hot new Gul'dan skin. I'm really
So
looking forward to that.
I hit 50, and I really, really like it now because it's 1,500 experience per level after 50. And you don't have to go in and click it or anything. You just get the pop up that
Mm-hmm.
you got 50 gold, boom, done. And which is the way I think it should be. I think when you hit, unless you have a choice to make by a type of selection of a skin or something like that, I
Right.
think it should just pop up, and you shouldn't have to go into the path and click it. But after 50, you don't have to, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
I'm now, because it's 1,500 per level. I just finish a daily and get a level, and sometimes you finish a weekly and get two levels. I'm at 82 already.
Wow. Okay.
So no, I'm sorry, I'm 81. I'm working on
81
82.
going towards
I hate the way it
82.
reads it because
Yeah,
it shows the number 82, but that's what level you're going to.
right, right.
I wish it showed you the level somewhere. But yeah, I'm 81 working on 82. So I'll have 82 after my next daily, most
That's
likely. So
awesome. That's awesome. You guys
uh,
know I'm very casual. I've not been pushing. I've only been pretty much doing my dailies. I've been usually let my dailies build up till I have 2 or 3 quests and then knock them all out. And so I mean I don't play a whole lot. And we're two. Let's see, this dropped in mid-November, right?
yeah. Yeah. So we're like 2 months.
So we're 2 months in to a 4 month track rewards track, and I am already going to hit 50 with 2 months still to go. I'm really excited about that.
And you bought the battle pass.
I did buy the battle pass, so that
So
that bonus experience has really helped.
before we get on to your week and everything, one quick question about the battle pass. Do you feel as a casual player and seeing where you're at on the battle pass now, do you think you got what you paid for?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the skins, when they were selling skins by themselves, they were $9 a skin. And then, I've gotten we've talked about this in the past. Normally between expansions, I would save up about 5,000 gold to buy 50 packs of the new set. Um I've not hit 50 yet. I'm still just a little bit out, but I'm already over that threshold. I'm at like 5,300 gold already, and I'll get however much more after I hit 50. So like I'm going to be way 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 ahead of where I would have been without the rewards track if I was
Okay.
just grinding gold on my own as a casual player. This is a huge bonus for me.
And see, I'm at 44.55, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I also spend gold on duels and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. See, I
So
spend gold on duels too. I do at least a heroic duel a week.
yeah, so that's how I am. So I'm okay. I usually shoot for 5 to 6,000 by the time the next full set comes out, and we're not talking about mini sets, which we'll
Right,
talk about that
right.
in a minute. But so I'm happy where I'm at. I think I'll be at 5,000 easily by the time the next full set comes out. So other than that, how was your week
It
or
was good.
weeks?
I've been playing, I've been playing some different decks. I spent some time in Wild playing Odd Paladin. I know I'm that guy, but it's fun. I've been enjoying it. I've been playing some Highlander Hunter in Standard, and the deck you brought to us for this week's show. It's a Control Taunt Warrior. I've been playing it. A few games this week and really enjoying it, having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been to. What have you been up to?
Well, one thing I want to key on is you've been playing Hearthstone, which I mean, obviously we do a Hearthstone podcast. You're going to play Hearthstone, but usually I've learned with you, you're fairly casual. When it comes time to like around the holidays, which we just exited the holiday time, you save a lot of that time to play other games, maybe games you got for Christmas or new releases
Okay,
and
so
things like
so
that.
you want to get into that? Look, I didn't play a whole lot of World of Warcraft in the last 2 years, so I'm catching up. I just unlocked all the allied races from Battle for
Okay,
Azeroth for the Horde. I'm in the middle of leveling a Zandalar Paladin, okay? That's what you want to
gotcha.
know? I just hit 30
No,
on my Zandalar
I,
Paladin,
I
and I'm
mainly
playing Hearthstone on the side.
I mainly wanted to say that you're actually making sure there's time to play Hearthstone. Which, if we talked to you a year ago from now, you took kind of a little bit of a break to play other games. I know that during the
Yeah.
holidays, which you usually do. So it's nice. So obviously Hearthstone's doing something right to keep your
Oh
attention.
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's in a good place right now for somebody who like me who plays casually is not competitive
Yeah.
in
I,
the game. You know, I've heard a lot of the competitive players complain about the meta and not be,
Yeah.
with certain decks being OP and cards being overpowered. But as a casual player, it's as fun now as it has been since I can't remember when.
I just think it's important to point that out because obviously, I've got a reputation of sitting at my desk and playing Hearthstone nonstop, no matter what's
Eight
happening.
hours a day,
So, which is
six
true.
out of 7 days a week.
So, having me say that 7 out of 7. What are you talking about?
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Having me say that Hearthstone's in a good spot has as it has merit, but it doesn't have as
It's a
much merit as
different
somebody like you.
meaning for you than
Yeah,
it is for
yeah.
me.
That's basically my point. Is that I think, despite a lot of the doldrums and complaints about the past and some of the meta stuff, which I'll tell you now, I know people complain about the meta and are demanding nerfs, and there were nerfs, and then it went right into a worse meta than before the nerfs and things like that. This is what happens in 6-set metas. We dealt with it with Kobolds and Catacombs. We dealt with it even back TGT time. When you deal with a 6-set meta and there's all these cards to pull from, they're going to literally pull all the most powerful cards, make the most powerful deck, and that's what's going to rule the roost. So I'm usually forgiving in a 6-set meta. If the meta is stale in a 4-set meta, I'm not as forgiving. But I think we're in a good spot. I'm really excited for the mini set. I think it's going to be a shakeup. But before we get into talking about what happened this past week, Book of Heroes came out. I think we talked about on the last episode that Garrosh was coming out, and it did.
Yeah,
And
like we went so long after
yep,
the release of Rexar with no news on Book of Heroes, and then we got Garrosh, and like 3 weeks later we got Uther.
I'd like to say I told you so, because I did say
You
there was going to
always
be a
say
gap.
I told you so. You don't have to like it. You always do.
I said there was going to be a gap with the set release, and then we'd see one December and then January, and then we'll probably see another gap in February, possibly depending on mini set and when mini set lands and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll probably see it pick up back again in March, and because they're going to do
Well,
10 heroes in 12
are we
months.
thinking
So
there's going to be another full set release in March, or do we think they're going to actually hold off until April?
that's probably a debate for another show, because there's evidence to say both directions, but there's also not enough evidence to make a solid guess on it.
Okay.
But Book of Heroes Garrosh, did you play Book of Heroes Garrosh?
I have. I have not finished it. I'm on a fight that I'm struggling with, and in all honesty, I might need your help to help me get through it, because I have done the same fight 3 or 4 times now.
Up until Book of Heroes Garrosh, it was the toughest. So it was the toughest up until its release.
Yeah.
Now so I wasn't a fan of the story. It was very, I mean, if you've ever played World of Warcraft, it's the exact same story, but which all of them have been stories from that universe, but it didn't give a different view or a different slant based on the Hearthstone universe, like Rexar's did, and like Jaina's did,
right,
and like Uther's did, because Uther's came out.
Yeah, now I've not started Uther's story yet. I've not started Book of Uther because I haven't finished Book of Rexar.
So I like
Book of Garrosh. Sorry,
I like Book of Garrosh. I finished it, and Book of Uther came out on the 5th. So it was just this past week, and it's difficult. I had at least 3 different fights that I lost on, and one took me at least I think 2 of them took me over 3 attempts on. There are a lot of environmental fights. There's a lot. It is the best one so far, in my opinion, and I'm not just saying it because it's Uther. The voiceovers were great. the extra bundle that you got for. Did they go down on the price on that? Or I thought they were $20.
No, 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 no. The
Are they
bundles have
normally
all
10?
been $9.99. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
$9.99 you got the 5 paladin packs and the portrait.
right.
The portrait is very different from any other Uther portrait. Its voiceovers are different. It's this is the best. If they put this much effort in the rest of the Book of Heroes, I'll be happy.
Yeah, if you guys do watch our play portion, sometimes after at the end of the show, at the end of the streaming portion of the show, I'll open
Huh?
packs. Well, I do have all 5 of my paladin packs from the bundle to open at the end of this show.
Don't open
So
them.
if you are watching,
I
or
wouldn't open them.
why?
Okay, and that was going to be my next point. Is because we have a mini set coming out soon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saving all of my Dark Moon Fair packs.
Okay, but if you open the paladin packs, they will give you cards, only paladin cards from all sets in standard. So if you have a fairly large collection and you're not missing many cards, like me, I did a missing in my collection just for paladin in
Uh-huh.
standard. I have every paladin card. So that means every card out of those paladin packs are going to be the mini set cards.
Interesting. Well, see, I know I'm missing a lot of Paladin cards
Okay.
because Paladin
Well,
is
then maybe
one of my least collected sets.
then maybe for you and for anybody who doesn't have a robust collection, it's probably a good idea. But for somebody who those cards are literally going to be dust for me,
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until the mini set comes
Right,
out
right.
or
That
another
makes
set that I
sense.
need paladin, and I'm going to save them. And if I'm probably only going to need one pack to get all the paladin cards for the mini set, and then I can turn around and just save those paladin cards for the next set.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's got me thinking now. Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
I wanna look at Paladin and say missing. And oh yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards total out of the Paladin set. I am missing.
See,
for
that's
standard.
not a lot. That's not a lot.
Yeah, but
If you think about 5 packs,
3, 4, 5 of them are legend. No, 6 of them are legendary. 6 out of the 8 that I'm missing are legendaries.
that's even more so. So if you open 5 paladin packs, you're going to get 25 paladin cards.
Yeah.
And they're only going to give you the missing ones from the rarity that they open. So in your case, I would save them for the mini set. That's just me personally.
Okay. All right.
You want to open one after the show just for posterity, fine. But I would save the other 4 for when the mini set drops.
So I will open one of them after the show today, and I also have a standard classic pack to open after the show. So yeah, stay tuned. Check out the video and let's see what I get. So.
I'm also saving my classic packs because there's eventually going to be a classic rework.
Yeah, I know.
Which was teased about in a tweet based on the new patch. Patch 19.2.1 was announced on Friday, January the 8th, and went live on Friday, January the 8th.
Yeah, it was just like, hey guys, by the way, here it is.
And it was, I think the tweet went out right around 11 Eastern, almost 11:30 Eastern, and the patch went live at 1.
Yeah.
So, patch 19.2.1. So whenever they put in that third number, 19.2.1, it's usually an unscheduled patch. And this was an unscheduled balance patch. And do you want to get into it? Do you want me to get into it?
No, let's just jump right in. So, first up, standard balance updates. And right off the bat, we see Edwin Van Cleef, the Rogue Classic Legendary. And there was a comment on this that said the last few weeks have been the best Edwin has ever performed as an individual card. the highest win rate in multiple rogue archetypes. Alongside cards like Foxy Fraud and Shadow Step, the frequency of early 8/8 or 10/10 Edwin Van Cleefs reached a point we are no longer comfortable with Edwin's mana cost. We're no longer comfortable with Edwin's mana cost is increasing by 1 to weaken some of the powerful openings as at Rogue's disposal. We were planning on rotating Edwin out of Standard in a few months. Still are. More info on that soon. But want to evaluate how the rest of the Rogue's kit performs without this very powerful iteration of Edwin. Cards like Foxy Fraud, Swindle, and Prize Plunderer are important pieces of future expansions and card interactions. So we'll be keeping close tabs on how they perform with the influx of new cards and Edwin's nerf. So Edwin was a 3 mana 2/2. He's now going to a 4 mana 2/2.
What do you think about this nerf?
I have stated for many, many, many years now, Edwin is not the problem. Shadow Step is the problem. I still believe Shadow Step is the problem.
That's a fair statement and kind of goes along what I was thinking. So if Edwin is not going to be rotated to Hall of Fame, which they alluded that he is, but if he was not going to be rotated to Hall of Fame, I don't think this nerf is enough. The reason is because the powerful turn 2 play is Foxy Fraud, Shadow Step, Foxy Fraud, Edwin. Yes. This nerf does not change that.
That's very true.
Because in both situations, pre-nerf at 3 mana and post-nerf at 4 mana, he still goes down to 0 in that specific situation. Yeah. So I would think something else need to be changed, whether it be that he only gets +1/+1 or his base stat changes, something else would need to change. However, there was a follow-up tweet by Alec Dawson that evidently something didn't get into blog post that he liked. And he says, also, sorry this didn't get into the notes, but yes, Edwin will still rotate later this year. And yes, we will be reverting the nerf along with others at that time. And what that's alluding to is they have already previously stated in the roadmap that at the next rotation, they're planning a rework of the classic and basic sets. We don't know any details of that yet, but we assumed a lot of that would be certain cards in the classic and basic set would be rotating to Wild as a Hall of Fame.
Okay, I want to touch on this right now because we need to as a community stop using the term Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Further down in that same thread, Alec Dawson says, as one small part of this, Edwin's time in Standard will come to a close. However, Hall of Fame, as it has existed, will be no more.
Okay.
This means there is no additional benefit to crafting or hoarding any extra versions of this card, any extra Edwins or any cards that they're going to rotate. You're not going to get that dust reward for those anymore. All of that's gone.
Okay. Well, it's good that they're actually making a public statement saying such. Because if they just surprised us, well, regardless, it's going to rotate to Wild, along with a lot of other cards in Classic and Basic. And I think Shadow Step will be one of those cards, and it may be replaced by a different version of Shadow Step. Maybe it's going to be named something else. Maybe it has a base mana cost to it. Maybe a 1 mana cost or something.
Do we don't have a Vanessa Van Cleef yet, do we? As a playable card.
Yes.
Do we? Or was it a hero?
Positive. I'm sure that Vanessa Van Cleef was a Hearthstone card, but I could be wrong. It might have been a character in one of the dungeon runs. Yeah, maybe she wasn't an actual
Okay,
card.
so
No, it
maybe
doesn't look like she was.
maybe they replace Edwin Van Cleef in this classic standard set with uh,
Oh yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
Vanessa Van Cleef.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of room to have replacements. Again, we don't know if they're just going to rotate a batch of wild cards that are currently in wild and other sets to replace these cards.
Right.
If they're going to make a whole new base set, we really don't know at this time. And I'm hoping we find out because we have BlizzCon line here in just over a month,
Right.
and that's probably when we're going to hear about this news and finality. But Edwin wasn't the only nerf.
No, it was not. We also are seeing a nerf to a card I've been playing a lot. Because I've been playing quite a bit of Evolve Shaman, and that's the Bogspine Knuckles. So, Bogspine Knuckles was a 5 mana 4/2 weapon that, after your hero attacks, transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 more. They are reducing the attack damage on Bogspine from 4 to 3. It's remaining the same mana and the same durability and evolving the same one more. So the only thing that's changing is the attack is going from 4 to 3, which is acceptable. It was pretty strong, being able to swing in and take out something with 4 health and evolve your entire board.
Well,
I've already seen some playing this post nerf. I've had to be more strategic in what I'm attacking and how I'm doing it. So, what do you
so
think about this?
I had a conversation with a streamer friend of mine, also friend of the show, Venga Dragon. He asked me while he was streaming one day on Twitch at Venga Dragon, uh, do, if I thought this nerf was enough, because he, at first glance, did not believe that Bogspine Knuckles would stop being played or be reduced in play, and he didn't think it would change the win rate much. What do you think specifically about the nerf? Do you think it's going to change the meta enough,
No,
whether it's with its own play rate?
no, no.
And
I
why?
like I
Why
said,
not?
I have been playing it in Evolve Shaman, and I'm still winning with that deck quite
Okay.
regularly. Now, I mean, do have I noticed a significant change in my win loss rate? No, I'm about the same exact win loss rate as I was prior to the nerf.
So my opinion is that this damage change had nothing to do with the amount of damage Bogspine Knuckles was doing. Had everything to do with another card, and that's Dread Corsair. The biggest
Okay,
swing turn was turn 5,
that's
or
true.
turn 3 with a Lightning Bloom. You could Bogspine Knuckles, play the Dread Corsair. You get the 4 damage from the Bogspine Knuckles, and you get a 5 drop.
That's correct. Yes, I could.
Now
Yeah.
that cannot be done because if you play the Bogspine Knuckles, Dread Corsair will still cost 1 mana.
Yep.
So this puts that curve turn, 1 extra turn out. So it's turn 6 play, or it's turn 4 with a Lightning Bloom, and that is enough, I think, to slow down that deck enough to change the meta in a way that's positive.
Yeah.
I think that Evolve Shaman is still a playable deck, and it might even still be tier 1, but it was in what Vicious Syndicate was calling tier S, meaning it was the only tier 1 deck. It was the best deck. It had no bad win rates.
Yeah.
Every deck
Yeah.
under it was considered tier 2 or below.
Right.
So usually when you have a top tier deck, there's at least one deck, even if it's a tier 4 deck, that beats it but this wasn't the case. And I think this is the perfect nerf for Boxby Knuckles. And it also, to me, heralds an age where they believe they want Evolved Shaman to exist in a way similar to how it is now, other than the Dread Corsair curve. So I think this nerf was specifically targeting the Dread Corsair turn 5 turn, and I honestly think it's enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, I'm still playing the deck, still having fun with it. We also had a Battlegrounds balance update, one card, and that was Alistra the Immortal. She is a Tavern Tier 6 minion. Was a 7/7 Divine Shield Reborn. Whenever a friendly taunt minion is attacked, this gets attacked instead. Well, Alistra is no longer a 7/7. She is now a 4/4. Same Tavern Tier, same abilities.
This was needed.
Yeah.
It was very, very much needed. And basically every comp would take her when they got to tier 6. And a card that's taken for every single comp just should not exist.
Yeah. So that pretty much, there was a few miscellaneous bug fixes. Toki's Temporal Tavern would not function correctly with the new Recruit Dark Moon prize, and they fixed a bug where Ysera's Dream Portal, when used with the new Recruit Dark Moon prize, would not offer a dragon when Bob's Tavern was full. So those issues have been corrected.
And the reason I wanted to point out the bug fixes is those were Battleground bugs.
Correct.
We still have constructed bugs. We have where Silas, if he rotates himself, won't activate the Corrupt for cards like Ticketus. And I hope they really fix that, because it's become really a relevant bug, because a lot of people are playing Ticketus now that the meta is slowing down. And so you're seeing a lot of people that are teching in Silas for those matchups against Paladin and against Warrior, where you get your Ticketus off, but you can't deal with that Rattlegore on the other side of the board. Well, now Ticketus isn't a viable way to do that. Silas isn't a viable way to do that because it doesn't corrupt your Ticketus. You'd rather have like a Twisting Nether. So I hope the next patch has that fixed. My question is this patch was like, it's right after the holidays.
And they released it the same day they announced it.
They reasonably probably could have waited a whole nother week that we know of. So they seem like they rushed it out. Do we expect that the mini set, that means the mini set's coming in January instead of February?
That's completely possible. Look, my favorite tweet I saw all week was from another member of Team 5. I forget who it was right now, but it said, "Man, why is Alec furiously topping over there?" Oh, the Edwin nerf got announced. That was my favorite. So that tells you this patch dropped quick. So
even other members of the dev team didn't even know that it dropped.
So do we think that this mini set patch could be out this month? I do, but I wouldn't be surprised if they waited until BlizzConline to announce some of the cards in it and then drop it the same day.
I disagree. You're talking about the mini set.
Yeah, I'm talking like BlizzConline. They say, "Hey guys, we introduced you to this mini set. Here's what we're talking about. Here's how it's going to work, and it's available right now on stage."
So what you're saying is the mini set doesn't drop until February, the end of February.
When is BlizzConline?
BlizzConline is 19th through 21st.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
or 20th and 21st, something like that.
It could be that we won't
February. So I think they rushed this, and the patch jumped out on the 8th because we're going to hear something this week. Today's the 10th as we're recording. If you're listening on download, it's the 11th. I think we're probably going to hear news by the 15th, if not sooner. Maybe even card dumps. And I think we get a lot of stuff in the last couple months have said we have up until the 19th of January to either get refunds or a certain offers only available till the 19th of January. 19th of January has shown up in client multiple times.
Okay.
So that makes me think the next major patch, which would be 19.4, which tends to be the mid patch, which a lot of big nerfs usually drop, or like adventures usually drop. I think it's going to drop on the 19th.
Okay. Well, that's
giving us
that would be Versika's birthday, so could be a surprise for him.
That's the day before yours, so
yeah.
Then we got usually a couple more weeks. We'll get to the beginning of February, which will probably be the 19.6, which will be a Battlegrounds patch. 19.8 is usually reserved for a pre-patch setup for big changes, and then of course we would roll into the 20.0, which would be the next full set. So we talked about, do we think the new set's coming in March or April? And I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and a lot of signs point towards March.
Okay.
Because of the way rotations are going, the way things are kind of teased, and interviews they've alluded to dates and time frames. I think we might not get the new set until the beginning of April, but March is when we get the new basic classic rework. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see. They released in mid-November because they wanted to move the timeline up a month. Yeah. I think we see the new set maybe somewhere around March the 20th.
Which is a viable guess. My concern is if they're going to do a basic and classic rework.
I was looking at the wrong month. Let's say March 16th. I think March 16th is a viable.
I think it'd be more March 23rd, but that's
okay.
If it's going to be March, I think it's March 23rd is when we're going to see the next big new content. The thing is there's a few different factors. They've already said we're going to get a new set. Obviously, we always get a new set. Then we're going to get a new basic classic rework.
Okay.
That also couples with rotation at the same time. They've also teased that we're going to be getting a new game mode, which I personally think is going to be and the new game mode isn't something they put at the beginning of the roadmap. Duels was that new game mode.
Right.
This new game mode is something they told us about the time Duels came out, that there's going to be another way to play Hearthstone. And I personally think it's going to be a new format that falls in line between Standard and Wild.
So, let's talk about Magic for a minute, because when Magic first started, you had one way to play, and then as it got older, they introduced
Legacy.
They call it Legacy now. For us oldsters, it was Type 1, Type 2.
Type 1, Type 2,
yeah. So now you have Legacy and Standard, but in the middle you have what they're calling a Modern now, I believe.
Yeah, and we called it Type 1.5.
We called it Type 1.5. So
because it was like this middle ground.
Do we think Hearthstone is moving into this sort of Wild, Standard, between Wild and Standard kind of mode where you'll have the Standard sets plus maybe the previous 6 sets in this middle ground, whereas so you'll have 12 sets available there, whereas in Wild you still have everything?
I do, because I believe there are people on the dev team that sit and look at the set rotations and look at the set timelines and think, what if Descent of Dragons came out with Blackrock Mountain? and you kind of have those synergies of those two. Now, obviously, you could do that in Wild, but the problem with Wild is it's hard to have those really good synergistic combination of sets that are so far apart without being disrupted by anybody can do anything. So if they basically lock down the sets to maybe another 6 set, just like they do standard, but maybe it's 6 sets of scattered
that are random, that
where
change.
where you can have like the Sin of Dragons with Blackrock Mountain and not have cards from say uh uh the X oh I forget the name of it, the Reno set, the Reno brand Elise set,
League
not
of
have
Explorers.
League of Explorers, not have League of Explorers cards throw a wrench in some of those synergies and things like that. So I think they are going to go that direction. It makes sense for them to go that direction, and I hope they do. I
That
really do.
that sounds pretty cool to me, actually. I would be interested in seeing how that would work.
But the best time to do that is when they do a huge shakeup, and if March is indeed going to be a new rotation, a new set, a new classic and basic set put into the rotation,
Uh-huh.
and this new ideology of instead of 135 card sets, you have 175 card sets, including the 35 card mini sets, thus bulking up those sets to kind of handle that kind of robust, change. I think in that new mind frame of Hearthstone, that would work, and I hope that's the direction they go.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which was Visions of Sage. Sage needs your help divining your future. Each turn, choose one of 2 powerful cards to add to your hand, but choose wisely as your opponent gets the other card. So, I played this. It was a 1-game win for me. My opponent, don't know what my opponent chose, but they gave me Survival of the Fittest. And on turn 10, just happened to have a board full of little stuff. Played Survival and won the game thanks to my opponent.
I went and done this too, and it was like every Discover I got a good card and a bad card, and I gave my opponent a bad card. And every Discover, my opponent got 2 good cards and was forced to give me a good card. And he emoted a lot. He or she, I don't want to assume. My opponent emoted a lot and seemed very disgruntled with the fact that nothing was going their direction. And,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. So I went and done this one. They're getting back to recycling Tavern Brawls. I had some hope that we'd start seeing a lot of influx of new Tavern Brawls a la the Joe Mag era.
Right.
And we saw a couple, but I just don't think the creativity in that department or whoever's doing it is to the level Joe Mag was. And I hope that changes. I hope they find somebody that, if you love making new styles of playing, next time they do a open call for development, and I'm assuming this would be initial development, please apply, because we need some new blood in the Tavern Brawl pool. We miss you, Joe Mag.
you know who we need in that position, right? HS Deck Tech.
So HS Deck Tech recently did an interview. I can't remember what show it was on. I think it was the new host, Guy Grumpy with Happy Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I think I have that right. And Deck Tech did go into his kind of woes of applying for Blizzard, finding out what he was missing, and then hitting the grindstone and developing his own own sets of cards and things like that, and hoping that he can then reapply in the future and get that initial design. And if that's the case, I think Deck Tech would be perfect for that position. And hope he eventually does make it on the team.
Yeah, me too. So, all right, that brings us to this week's Deck of the Week. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, and you know what? That is the one thing I am missing, is I have not loaded up the deck list.
Oh, we were doing so good.
We were, weren't we? 2 weeks out, and I forget to load the
That
Load the
won't take
deck
you long.
list. No, no. Let's see.
But this week, while he gets that plugged in, we are going to play Taunt Warrior. Now, we've seen many variations of Taunt Warrior through the years and through the various sets and so forth and so on. And this is kind of a unique take on Taunt Warrior in the current meta. It uses N'Zoth to kind of get you the taunts back that you want, and that's the new N'Zoth, God of Aspect, no, God of the Deep. Sorry. So I'm really excited to see how we do. I'm doing well on the ladder with this deck. My current record is 19-13. It's not spectacular, but it's a winning win rate, and sitting at about 60 some percent. My math is failing me, but I really like this deck. It's fun. It beats decks right now. It did really well against Evolved Shaman because they were forced to basically smack their face into these giant taunts with their weapon every turn.
Yeah, yeah. So let's run down the deck list real quick. It's 2 Shield Slam, 2 Sword and Board, 2 Frightened Flunky, 2 Minefield, 2 Blade Storm, 2 Coerce, 1 Lord Barov, 2 Shield Block, 2 Sword Eater, 2 Brawl, 1 copy of Cobalt Sticky Finger. Then you had Ringmaster Waitley. Then you had 2 Scrap Golems. Then you had Armegadillo. You had Deathwing Mad Aspect, 2 Carnival Clowns, N'Zoth, God of the Deep, 1 copy of Scrapyard Colossus, and Yasarj the Defiler. So this deck runs 2 old gods and quite a few other legendaries. It's not a cheap deck.
This is a wallet heavy deck. So the goal is you want to get Armegadilla out as quick as possible if you can, to get your other taunts buffed, and then you want to make sure to get your scrap golems and your the pirate sword eater.
Yeah,
out,
Sword Eater.
And you're just kind of playing taunts to disrupt your opponent, and then ultimately you want an N'Zoth to bring those back. Hopefully, at this point, you have Carnival Clown in hand. And if you've been able to go long enough, you've also played your Scrapyard Colossus, so it'll bring back that as an elemental. But if you play the N'Zoth while you have the Carnival Clowns in hand, it will not only will it corrupt the Carnival Clowns, it will bring back Armegadillo, which will buff your Carnival Clowns.
Yes.
So that's kind of the perfect curve as you play these taunts. Then you play N'Zoth corrupting your Carnival Clown, or both of them if you have them in hand. They get buffed. They deal with your board. You play a Carnival Clown. They deal with your board. You play a Carnival Clown. They deal with your board. Then you can Yasharj and play 2 more Carnival Clowns. So you kind of basically you're trying to exhaust
all their resources.
You're blocking the aggressive decks from getting to you.
Yeah.
And basically just stalling them out with taunts. And since Demon Hunter's kind of fallen out of favor, and the decks that are popular in Demon Hunter aren't running Kane, then your taunts do get in the way.
Yeah.
And then your kind of mid-range decks, you're just going to play the value game. They're going to deal with you. You're going to put up more roadblocks. They're going to deal with you, and eventually you'll burn them out of stuff. And in Control, you just have to count their removal. That's the biggest matchup that you'll suffer, is against Control matchups. Control Shaman right now has lots of board clears, and it's probably one of the toughest matchups. It's not unwinnable, but it is a very tough matchup.
So for me, so far playing this deck, I have to say one of the MVPs for me has been Cobalt Sticky Finger. The single copy of Cobalt Sticky Finger. I was really close to winning against a Totem Shaman, and they managed to clear my board and I'm holding like 2 cards, one of which is Sticky Finger. They play a bunch of totems and then played into a splitting axe, which was exact lethal I needed. So I Sticky Fingered the splitting axe, won the game. I'm sure they were salty, but I didn't hear from them. So
this is my variant of the deck, and I took a card out and I put in Sticky Fingers to deal with the spine the spine knuckles, or
bog spine knuckles,
and B, the wrench caliber. So you're probably not going to see as much bog spine knuckles because of the recent nerfs. We might still, we don't know. But we won't see it as early as we normally did. Or if we do see it that early, it's not going to be as impactful. I actually played this after the nerfs, and somebody played a bog spine knuckles on 5 and didn't swing with it. They were waiting to set up the next turn, and I stole a fully charged up bog spine knuckles with two durability.
And when you're evolving a board full of 9-cost carnival clowns, it's bad time for somebody.
And with recent nerfs, a popular deck to come back out into the meta is Bomb Warrior. So this is good against Bomb Warrior. Now, if you don't want to use the tech card of Sticky Fingers, the card that normally goes in that slot is Silas Darkmoon. It's another legendary, but it's a free legendary.
Yeah.
And it's good for taking things like 8/8 Divine Shield taunts with Libram Wisdoms on them. It's good for taking Rattle Gores. So if you're seeing more Paladin, or you're seeing Control Warriors or warriors that are running Rattle Gore, you might want to put the Silas Darkmoon back in place of the Sticky Fingers.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a fun deck. I've had a lot of fun playing with it so far, and I look forward to watching Zeroshio pilot it here in just a couple of minutes.
Oh! I forgot to tell you, I got Legend on January 2nd.
Wow!
So we're going to be playing this in the Legend ranks. I totally glossed over when I was going over my week.
That's your earliest Legend, isn't it?
I thought it was, because I thought the earliest was the 4th, but I went to go change my pinned tweet, and I did previously, I think it was last April, got it also on the 2nd.
Okay.
So it is my fastest. I've never gotten a day 1 Legend, and I was really cruising for day 1 Legend, but I just gassed out and had to finish off. I think I got up to like Diamond 2 on day 1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And just had to finish off on the 2nd.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to pretty much be it for us this week. If you are joining us on YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you're listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers, or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right, sir. Well, while you are finding an opponent real quick, I'm going to update the deck list on this side as well.
And I just turned on allow my spectates a friend. My spectates a friend. My friends to spectate. Wow, I can't talk today. Allow my friends to spectate, because I had it turned off for my THL match.
Okay. So, yeah, no, as you guys can see, I've got about 16 packs saved up currently. 10 of them are Dark Moon, 5 are my Paladin, and then my 1 classic pack.
Yeah,
so.
I almost opened my Paladin. I was like, wait, what Paladin cards am I even missing? So I went and did missing. I was like, oh, I'm not missing any Paladin cards. Like, oh, I could use the dust. And I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. The new mini set's going to have Paladin cards.
Yes.
And this pulls from standard. So it's going to automatically give me those.
Yep, it will. So, all right. First up, a paladin. So
And pink is a me.
yeah, so when I've been playing, I've been pretty much looking for Frightened Flunky, Sword and Board, Minefield, Blade Storm, those low cost things that'll help me to
Yes.
control the board.
So minefield is very important because they're going to want to develop an early minion and then put something like a wisdom on it or
Uh-huh.
a hand of a doll on it, and then it becomes like a 3/5, very threatening. So I want to keep the minefield. Blade Storm's good late game coupled with like Brawl,
Okay.
and we have both those in our hand. I'm going to go ahead and toss those back
Okay.
because we don't need the Blade Storms and Brawl because we wanted to be able to like brawl a board with an 8/8 Divine Shield taunt and then turn around and Blade Storm that taunt away.
Okay.
And Paladin's kind of my bread and butter, so I'm good at this. We did get Sword and Board. The Deathwing isn't bad. It might just be we dump it on 8 no matter what.
And we got another brawl.
We did get another Brawl, and the Brawl will be semi-useful. I've been seeing a lot of Highlander Paladin, and believe it or not, Highlander Paladin gets on the board really quick, really early.
Yeah.
But it doesn't usually have a good, like, reload.
Okay.
Well, there's a Carnival Clown.
I think
so
we
let's just go ahead.
hero power and pass.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and armor up.
Yeah, now
The
I've
Carnival
had
Clown
I've
will be
had
nice.
some games where I've gotten up to like 20, 25 armor. Just
Oh, yeah. You can get up there. Ooh. That's a question.
okay.
So we want a Watley on 5. The
Yeah.
question is, do we need to start worrying about hand management now? I think we can just hero power here.
Hero power and sword and board. Remove it.
I don't think we need a sword and board. I don't think he'll get outside of minefield range next turn.
Okay.
And next turn we're going to draw to 7 cards. If we play 1 card, we'll go back down to 6, and then we'll go back up to 7 cards on turn 5. Watley will put us to 6 and draw us 3, putting us at 9. So we're still fine. So we don't need to dump another card.
Okay.
That's the hard part of this is thinking with Watley in that card draw, thinking that may turn. Oh no! And you know what? Watley won't draw us 3. He's only going to draw us 2
Because we're
Because we
already
have
holding Deathwing.
We have the Deathwing. Oh, here we go. So he is not the Highlander version. He is just the stock Libram, which is what I'm playing now.
Yeah.
I think we minefield hero power.
Yeah.
The question is, do we need a Watley next turn? So we can just scrap Golem, but if we Watley, it will get us either Sword Eater or Cobalt Sticky Finger. The problem with Cobalt Sticky Finger is you're not guaranteed a Sword Eater draw.
Right.
Now that he's developed a minion, I think we want to.
Throw down
I think
the
we're going to
taunt.
want a Watley. I think we want a Watley.
Still want a Watley. Okay.
Because if we get the Sword Eater, that means we have a developmental weapon the next turn.
Okay.
And that'll allow us to weapon to
we got the sticky finger and the scrap golem. Okay.
That's fine. The Sticky Finger's not terrible. It may just be played. It's probably going to be a scrap golem turn next turn.
Do you think he's not running any
pure paladin stuff? No, he's not, because we saw the Sticky Fingers. The pen flinger.
Right. But I mean, you don't think he's at least hard running True Silver Champions?
No.
Okay.
There's not room in the deck for that. This is good. Having the Lord Barov. I think we value bump into the 4/6. We sword and board the 4/2.
Okay.
No, what's it got on it? He's gonna draw. No, I think. Yeah. I think we do that, and then we just play the scrap golem.
Okay.
And the reason I want to value trade in here is so that the trade, even with the wisdom, this is going to fill his hand up. So he's going to burn something. Even with the blessing of wisdom, he loses the taunt off the trade into the scrap golem.
Right. So he loses a blessing of wisdom.
That's not a big deal. This seems to be very similar to the deck that I run.
Yeah.
Okay. And at any time, we have the Lord Barov coerce play. We coerce our own Lord Barov.
Right. Right.
And Flinger trade.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Okay.
can't end on that. He has to play something else.
An
Okay, there it
attendant
goes.
with wisdom. Yeah.
Okay. I think I like just scrap golem hero power here.
Okay.
And we're developing a good amount of armor.
Yeah.
Um, once you get to turn 8, you have a lot more options. You can brawl. You can Lord Barov brawl, and then when he dies, he does his 1 damage. So
Right.
anything that survives gets killed anyways.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Pinflinger.
Pinflingers can get really annoying, but eventually he's going to run out of stuff. And our armor, it's not like he can just pen us down very easily.
Right.
That's why he's trying to develop that damage to face. I'm not happy with the fact that that Divine Shield is still there. Okay, so he has to play a spell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a scrapyard. That's going to be really good later. I think we Cobble Sticky Fingers and coerce the 5/6.
I agree.
Since we have 2 coerce, we can
Yeah.
afford to do that.
Right.
We have a lot of board clear options. We just have to make sure he doesn't get too much Penflinger value. He lost the Blessing of Wisdom already, so that's good. I think he's only cycling one natural Libram of Wisdom, not 2, at least right now. Okay.
So, Libram of Justice.
Then he's going to use his face. That's not bad because we can just Deathwing.
Deathwing. That's what I was thinking.
There's a shield block. Yeah, I think we Deathwing.
Yeah. And then next turn we Scrapyard, which corrupts
And then once we
the
Scrapyard next, yeah, exactly. We corrupt the
clown.
carnival.
Yeah.
And he's already used his Libram of Justice, unless he has a second one. He does run Lord Barov in this deck.
Yep.
But he's not going to have a clean way to deal with this 12/9. He might try to just pen it down, but
that's a lot of damage we're not taking.
Sorry.
Well, there's
he is
going
to pen it, but he's using his Lord Barov, which is fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because next turn we'll Scrapyard.
He doesn't have it for the Scrapyard Golem. Now he's deciding if he can take the 12 or if he needs to cycle in pens, which he probably. Oh, I guess order doesn't matter with that.
So do we Barov Brawl here?
Yeah, I want to play the Scrapyard Golem, but that might be too risky. Is it too risky? What can he do with Scrapyard Golem? He only has one more Libram of Justice.
Yeah, that's true. He can't get it as long as he can't get its defense up. Yeah.
I think we still Scrapyard Golem.
Okay. Okay.
I think we still Scrapyard Colossus. I really want to save that kind of play with the Barov until he's playing Librams of Hope. So yeah, let's just do Colossus. We're at 26. So it's not like he's threatening lethal if he can silence us or deal with
Right.
it easily. And this gets us an elemental in the stack. This gets us our carnival clown corrupted.
Yes.
It does a lot for us. Next turn. Okay. And so he's going to pen down the 3.
Yep.
And then trade in
the 7.
13-2.
Yeah.
He's going to use
he's going to use his face. All right.
But still, he has to deal with the 7/7.
Yeah, that's where he'll run the 13-2 in, I would assume.
Oh, he doesn't have a spell to bounce the pens back now until he trades in the 13-2. That's why he did it that way.
Nope, there's the Libram of
There's
Justice.
the Libram of Justice. But see, okay, he pens. So we are going to take 13.
Yeah.
And that's the other Libram of Justice, though.
So now we Carnival Clown and fill the board with 4/4s.
I think so. Oh, he's not going to pen it. Okay. Because he doesn't have another spell to trade back yet. Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
Do we get greedy here, or do we just play the Carnival Clown?
I think we get greedy. I think we are Megadillo, Sword Eater, and we go ahead and clear the 1/1.
Okay.
But that really leaves us open.
Well, I mean, we
taunts.
could clear the 13-2 with the other Coerce.
We could.
Unless you want to continue to hold it for the Bear-Off combo.
Well, we have Brawl for Bear-Off combo. So we can Armageddillo and then coerce the 13-2. That's probably the safer play. Yeah, I like that. But now we're both Librams down. He does have, and we're 1 animated broomstick down.
Yeah.
See, if I was him, I would be pushing this damage to face. The perfect next draw would be N'Zoth.
Yes, it would.
He trades that in, and then face.
No, pins it.
Does he have another spell to bounce the pen back? That's a question. He must have.
Yes.
Oh, he's discovering a secret, and then okay, gotcha. That's his other spell. Oh no, here's a sec. He did get the.
No, that's the same wisdom that was on the
same wisdom.
other
That's right.
minion. Yeah.
Can he? Then they bounce back. I would have held that for next turn. So we sword and board the Mysterious Winter, and then we play the
Carnival Clown. I think so, yeah.
And this generates us lethal? Because
yes.
The sword and board's perfect because it gave us 2 armor, which deals with the 2 damage from Penflingers he would get from the Libram Wisdom that he just got.
Yeah.
So I think that's... Even if it's a noble sacrifice, the only thing we are worried about is eye for an eye, but we have shield block and armor up to avoid that.
Right.
So if it's eye for an eye, he wants to get us down to 6. Okay. So now we need to worry about generating armor. I don't want to put 3 of those into him, but we can. Oh, this will help us, actually.
We wouldn't have to put 3 into him. We would only have to put 2. Actually, now we only have to put 1 if you play Bear-Off. And we can still send 24 to face. So, wait a minute.
7. We got lethal.
We have lethal with the Sword Eater.
So, Bear-Off. If this is noble sacrifice, we don't.
Right, that's true.
So it's eye for an eye. So we hit him, which we can
Wait,
take.
wait,
we
wait,
can
wait,
take
wait, 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 wait. Play the
What?
Sword Eater and swing with the face. Only take 3 if it's off
Okay,
or not.
that's fine. That's fine. Either way, it would have been fine either way.
Yeah, and now he's dead.
That was smart on him taking the eye for an eye, but the noble sacrifice would have saved him.
Yeah.
For a turn. So, good first game. And this reminder, this is in Legend.
Right.
I'm at 1395 Legend now. I think it was at 1495. Wow, that's a lot of. Maybe it wasn't that high or that low.
All right. Moving on to game 2.
I know once I get into Legend, I don't play a lot.
Yeah.
I was in top 500 Legend when I got in, and I think it was like 360 at one point. I pretty much only play in Legend when I'm practicing for THL and stuff. Ooh. So I haven't played a priest yet this month at all.
Okay.
Like, not just with this deck.
I have, and it went long, but I pulled the game out with a win off of getting my Carnival Clown, both of my Carnival Clowns corrupted, and then you're charging them and playing them again. They couldn't deal with
What do you
all of
think?
them.
What do you think of keeping the Sword Eater and the Watley here?
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that.
Because I want to develop an early Sword Eater, and then I want Watley to thin my deck and draw me cards.
Yeah.
And I think we can do that because I don't expect early pressure.
Okay.
So I think that's probably a viable option.
Like I said, the game I won went really long, and it all came down to me having more than they could deal with in the Carnival.
We got our
Clowns.
Megadillo for after the Watley. And a reminder, Watley does not draw you our Megadillo.
No.
It doesn't draw a beast, unfortunately. So if we can Sword Eater into Watley into our Megadillo, we'll be in a good spot because we'll get at least one Scrap Golem buffed. Just going to pass turn 1.
Yep.
So I've learned in Legend. Oh wow! Usually they're even better. Fight and flunky every day, right?
Every day. Adds another taunt minion for our Megadillo to buff. Strongman?
Because we're running Yasharj.
Yeah.
So Strongman, right?
Right. Yeah.
And we will draw the Deathwing with Ringmaster.
Right.
So we'll be able to corrupt it. Ooh.
Well, there's the scrapyard.
We need a little bit of hand space. Do we coin out the Sword Eater?
Why don't we just minefield the eater?
Because this gets rid of 2 cards out of our hand.
Okay.
And we would have to trade in.
So what do we do on turn 4 next turn?
That's fair, but we won't ever have a chance to get the coin out of our hand. Unless we coin now and just use it for hero power. We won't have anything on the board. If
I mean, you could always coin into the scrapyard on 9. That still corrupts everything.
But what I'm saying, I need space for when Watley's going to draw us 3 cards.
Okay, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as of right now, Watley's going to draw us 3 cards. On turn 5. So we need to get us down to keep us around 7 cards.
Okay.
Unless we were to draw the Deathwing, it's going to draw us 3 cards. Because we'll get Sword Eater or Sticky Finger. Ooh, you charge. So I think we armor up and just... I don't think we swing our weapon face.
Yeah, I think just armor up.
We're still going to have hand space issues. He didn't play anything. I was hoping he'd play something we could minefield.
Yeah.
I don't want to minefield now, obviously. See, next turn we're going to play Watley and we'll be at 10 cards. We'll burn something. Now, we won't burn N'Zoth. Oh, no, we could burn N'Zoth. We won't burn Yasarj. We won't burn our Megadillo.
We could, yeah, that's true, because we're going to draw Deathwing. We're going to draw...
So, if we drew Deathwing now, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he's taking that. I'm fine with that, actually. Do we just play the Watley and just risk burning a card? I think we do. Because in the next turn we can play Armagadillo and it's going to buff Strongman, it's going to buff the Scrapyard Colossus, it's going to buff a guaranteed Scrap Golem and possibly Sword Eater if we draw Sword Eater.
Okay.
So we play the Watley, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't hate burning cards, but in this case, the only really bad burn, we could even burn a Carnival Clown and I'd be okay with it. The only really bad burn would be a N'Zoth. I think everything else that we burn, I can live with.
So he's looking for a card with palm reading.
Because this next turn, we almost always are Megadillo.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get mad value out of that Armagadillo because it's gonna buff the Scrap Golem, it's gonna buff the Colossus, it's gonna buff the Strongman.
Like I said, we have a 1 in 18 to be punished by burning N'Zoth, and I think it's worth the risk to do that. If we burn N'Zoth, I'll look stupid.
So
but
now he's gonna Insight, draw a card, reducing its cost.
Ideally, I think if we burn Brawl, that'll be fine because there's not really any good situations for Brawl.
Oh!
Okay, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
No,
it sucks,
not.
But it's not the end of the world. So we play our Megadillo, then we clear the Cabal Acolyte, right?
I don't think it matters. He's not going to be returning the Acolyte to his hand to replay it, so
I think we do the Sword Eater because if he does the 0 mana dead card,
yeah, that's true.
Then he's not guaranteed to get Cabal Acolyte.
Yeah, it waters down his revive pool.
Right now, if he played that, he would get Acolyte and Bloodweaver.
Yeah.
Now he'd have to trade in the Acolyte, and it's not a guaranteed that he'll get an Acolyte.
Right.
Raise Dead. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to trade in.
I think he trades in and he plays Raise Dead.
No, Bloodweaver.
Then Raise Dead.
Then Raise Dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Hoping he gets a Bloodweaver and an Acolyte. That's why he put the Bloodweaver out so early to just die because he wanted to get it back with Raise Dead. Probably the rest of his hand's probably mainly spells.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a second out of deck Nazmani, so this is not Highlander. Highlander is very popular in Priest right now. Thank you, Wicked Good, for that insight. He's been keeping me spun up on Priest.
Okay, renew.
Renew on the minion just to get the draw.
There's the there's the revived Acolyte.
What do you take? What do you take? Yes. This is great.
That's really good, actually. Yeah.
This is great. We want to keep that Armagadillo on the board. right?
Yeah, I think so.
So if we Blade Storm
It'll remove the Sethic and
and
the
the other
Watley.
one 3, and then we can Sword Aboard.
Yeah, we could sword and board to remove the Nesmani.
So let's do the Blade Storm first. We Sword and Board to get rid of the Nesmani.
And then Hero Power Shield Slam to remove the 2/1.
Yeah, because we don't want to trade it because we want the
Right.
buff to stick around because we're not going to get a second Armadillo
Right.
because we burned our N'Zoth. Now next turn is probably going to be a Deathwing turn,
That's what I'm thinking.
so we can follow that up on turn 9 with a Strongman turn and anything else we want to do.
We could play Strongman next turn if we wanted to.
No, but if we do that, we won't get it back with these Sarge.
Yeah, we will. It'll corrupt when you play Deathwing, and then it'll cost 0.
Oh, you're talking about playing the yeah. You can't play the Strongman this coming turn because it hasn't corrupted yet.
When you play Deathwing, it will corrupt and become 0 mana. You could play it after
Yes.
the Deathwing.
I thought you were saying play it instead of the Deathwing.
No.
Yeah. We're on the same page now. So now how did he get the? Oh, he initiationed.
Yeah.
So we Deathwing. Right?
We Deathwing. Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a Carnival Clown in hand, so that when we play the Scrapyard Colossus, it will corrupt.
It will corrupt. Yeah.
So now he has to deal with a 12/6. He probably has plenty ways to deal with it.
Draconic Studies.
Then he'll get 2 random spells. I don't know why Onyx Mage Scribe isn't teched into a lot of decks. It's usually only discovered. It's a really good card.
It is, yeah.
Maybe if it was like a 5/9 or a 6/9.
So let's talk about turn 9 coming up here. Are we going to play? Well, now you could
Armor Up, Shield Slam, go face, and
scrap Golem.
Scrap Golem and Strongman.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
So Armor Up, Shield Slam, Swing and Face. I'm gonna Scrap Golem.
Yep. And Strongman.
Do we need a Strongman? We should Strongman, right?
I would think.
Gives us more options next turn.
and it's going to force him to have to come up with a response.
I mean, Shadow Word Ruin is a response.
Yeah, and if he's maybe,
I don't know if they main deck that.
Maybe discovered a what's the one that silences and destroys everything?
Plague of Death, yeah.
Yeah.
Burning the N'Zoth takes a lot of our options away, but we're not dead.
No. So he's going to
start with Draconic Studies.
Mirazon.
Okay. So that Shield Slams for nothing, and it gives him a 6/6 and a 4/5. Can we pull off a lethal? Inner Fire trade. Oh, yeah. I'd say you don't want to trade a 10/10.
No. Yeah. So now.
Can't get any of this damage to face, I don't think.
No, I don't think
we
so
have to trade a 12/6 into the 4/5.
And the 10/10 into the 6/6, and then play the Scrapyard Colossus. And that
I like that.
That corrupts our Carnival Clown.
Exactly. Now we won't have any other way to corrupt the other Carnival Clown until we play Yashar, so we won't be able to get 2 Carnival Clowns off our charge.
Right. But that's just the price we're going to have to pay.
Play it in the middle. I don't think they're in Silas, but We haven't drawn like any of our brawls. We haven't drawn our courses. We've drawn all our
no,
topics,
yeah.
which has actually been good for this matchup.
It has.
Oh,
that's not good.
No, it's also not the end of the world.
No.
I hate that our Carnival Clowns didn't get buffed with our Megadilla when we had it, but so he's gonna double trade.
I would.
And see, now in this matchup is where Silas would be better than Sticky Fingers.
Well, there's Coerce, but we don't have any way to remove the other one.
No, we could just play the Scrapyard Colossus.
I don't know. I mean, you could.
Think we Carnival Clown here?
No. Go ahead and Scrapyard, Coerce, and Hero Power.
Yeah, I like that better. Because he'll trade in, maybe heal it, but then we'll have a board full of 4/4s.
Right, exactly.
To test one taunt. Mind control. Ugh.
Yeah.
And mind control might actually be one of the death of us.
Well, that mind control was not in the deck. That was a random generated card. And he hard cast it for 10 mana. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was the right play.
It was.
At the exact right time, too.
Yeah.
I ain't hating on the play. I just hate that it happened.
Oh.
Yeah, with this deck right now, and I primarily played it just in Legend this month because I went all the way to Legend with auto build Paladin.
Right.
I'm 61% at 20 and 13, so it's doing good in high to mid Legend.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the trade. There's the Sword Eater. So now we can Sticky Fingers that.
Oh, we can. Think about Sticky Fingers options.
So,
Sticky Finger Coerce.
So now we can Sticky Fingers, clear with our face the 7/3, and then coerce the 4/7.
Yep. So we have a total of 3 Carnival Clowns playable.
Correct.
Because we'll play the one, then we'll play the Yashars to get it back and then corrupt the other one.
Okay, so now I think you need to play Minefield and see if we can remove that Wild Pyro, because if he has a bunch of spells, he can just... Well, no, he can't. Yeah, he could possibly clear our board of Carnival Clowns with the Wild Pyro.
But wouldn't that be fine?
I mean, yeah, because then we could just use Charge and get it back.
I think we kind of want him to use resources. Because he's what? He's already used both of his renews that give him spells. He's already used the Onyx Mage, and I think the spells that came out of it. So he has
one spell in his hand that's not from his deck.
So I kind of want to exhaust him. So let's play the Carnival Clown.
Okay. And he's also 3 cards ahead of us in the deck.
Also,
we only have 10 left. He has 13.
Frightened Flunky can find us a Scrapyard Colossus, which can corrupt our other Carnival Clown.
That's true. It can, yeah.
It's an option. It's not a great or high value option, but it's an option. And see, last term he did a lot of thinking of how he was going to clear that one minion. And
all right, so here comes the buff.
Oh, yes, that's, to be honest, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because by the time he clears this, it's going to be clearable by Minefield.
Power Infusion. Okay. It's not going to be clearable by minefield, by the way.
Maybe still. See, he's trading now. If he had spells, there
Okay.
you go.
Okay. Holy Smite.
Smite.
Is he going to heal and pass? Oh, perfect. So I think you saved the brawl now.
To save the brawl?
Do we? I mean, or do you send it all face and brawl?
If we send it all face and brawl,
and the 7/6 wins.
7/6 wins, we're screwed.
That's correct.
But if we hit it once with 1/4/1, send the rest face brawl, we can still minefield it down. And he's at full health, so he won't gain any extra health now.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So let's trade one in. Go face with the rest.
So that's 12 to face. He was at 34.
On a brawl. It didn't survive. That's fine. And then we frighten Flunky.
Yep.
Lord of Arena.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Hero Power. That was bad.
That was not a good discover.
Bad pool, yeah. Ever since they changed the discover so you're not increased chances to get your classes, it's been really rough.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm just wondering what other sustain he has. He is probably running a second ball Pyromancer. I just think we've exhausted more spells from him than... See, he hasn't... he's used both Sethics, so he's not going to be developing any more spells off Sethic.
There's a third Cabal Acolyte.
No spell.
No spell.
So we trade this in, Minefield, Lord of the Arena, Hero Power?
I like it.
And now he has a 6/5 he has to deal with.
Yep.
I think he's out of gas or out of clears.
He's low, that's for sure. But he has more cards than we do.
Ray's dead. Oh, are you serious?
That so I think we have to shield block.
Yeah, I think we gotta start with shield block, see what we can draw. There we go.
So now
I think we just Hero Power pass, make him trade.
I agree. I think we Hero Power pass, make him trade.
I got a Scrapyard Colossus off that where he's dead. He's really gotten the RNG rolls.
Yes, he has.
We don't know what the other minion was.
And we're not gonna find out. We need to top deck Minefield.
Minefield would have been good.
What do you think about just playing the Yasarj now?
Just the Yasarj, or do we play the Taunt behind it?
I think we play the 0 cost Carnival Clown behind it.
No, what if we just play the Strongman and we keep the
That's fine.
Clown?
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
Because that way he's going to have to trade into it. And this, what I worry about is a Plague of Death. They usually only run one.
Third raised dead.
That's a third raised dead.
Yeah. Which means he could get another Scrapyard Colossus.
Yeah. Like I said, Silas is where I would love Silas in this matchup.
Yeah.
And Silas may end up being put back in it, depending on how much Shaman I see and how much Warrior Priest I see and Paladin. This is a good match. Win or lose.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Win or lose, this has been a
This
good
is
game.
the kind of Hearthstone I live for.
So that was his second apotheosis.
He heals. Did he? Oh, he heals just out of.
Right. Wave
Okay,
of apathy.
that's actually not bad.
So, Brawl Bladestorm?
Yeah.
The
Or
only
the
issue
Bladestorm
is
Brawl.
if the Colossus wins.
So if the Colossus wins, we're stuck with yeah. How about we Bladestorm first, then we Brawl? Or do we just fill up the board with a bunch of minions? And if he has a Plague of Death, he ruins his own board.
If he has to Plague of Death, he's left with a 7/7 Colossus.
That's fine. No, he's not. Plague of Death won't have.
Oh, that's right.
available.
It'll silence it. Yeah.
I think we Carnival Clown here.
Okay.
Because he's going to have to trade through them or use a major board clear.
Yeah.
If he has the other Wild Parameter, he's not going to have enough spells to clear all 4 damage off the taunts.
Okay, so he's got 7 cards left in his deck. We only have 4. And we're still holding a shield block. Do we just not play it?
Probably won't play it. Unless we get to a point where our last card is something we need that turn
Well,
to.
our final 4 cards are Sword Eater, Lord Barov, Minefield, and Sword and Board.
Yeah. Well, Sword and Board and Barov together is a clear.
Yeah.
God, spell generation. Also, we're literally double health.
We are double his yeah, we're double health. Yeah, we are currently at 47 and he's at 27.
He can't go past 30 and we can. So we can continue to hero power to generate us armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going to give himself much time. He's discovering stuff. Yeah, you got trade, buddy. Okay.
All right. So he's down to 6. Do you send 2 into the Colossus, 1 into the Acolyte, and send the other 2 face? And then just hero power pass?
We can do that. I'm thinking of a Barov play, though. I think that might be the better play. The thing is, he's got 1 trade, and then he can trade the other 2 minions. He can just trade. My thing is what if we Baroved, trade 2 minions in, send 12 face, and then Bladestormed?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we trade here, we Barov, trade 1, send the other 12, because this is really going to help us when it comes to fatigue.
Right. We want to get him as low as possible.
And then we Bladestorm hero power, or do we Brawl hero power? Brawl it does the same thing.
Bladestorm, yeah.
Yeah, it does the same thing. Brawl, it completely clears. At least this leaves us with a 3/1.
Right.
Only problem we have is the minute he can what? He got that off Discover.
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh. I think we got a Carnival Clown this turn. We do have the Sword Eater. That's 6 more damage we can go to face with.
Yeah. Well, he's still got 4 discovered cards in his hand, so 2 of those could have been off the last raised dead.
He didn't get the Rush Dragon, because if he got the Rush Dragon, he would have snap picked that. He would have snap played it. I think he's ended up having just Hero Power his face. He might play one of those dragons.
Crimson
Give it taunt.
Hothead. No,
Or he didn't
he's
give it
not.
taunt.
So
So
there's
we
the
swing
Sword
face
Eater.
and play swing face and play the clown.
Do you like that better than the Sword Eater into the Brawl? We have a 50% chance of survival. We still hit him for 6.
Do we need to brawl?
I mean, no, because he's still got another dragon in his hand.
So let's Sword Eater Hero Power and just swing face.
Okay.
We're still not playing the shield block, right?
No. No, I think we just hold it at this point.
Because I'd like to get the brawl with the minefield.
Yeah, we've got 2 cards. He's got 4.
My thought is I'd like to try to Carnival Clown on a board where he has stuff,
Yeah.
so that if he does decide to play the Plague of Death, he has to clear
He has
those
to clear
stuff.
his stuff too, yeah.
Oh, Palm Reading. Palm Reading is such a good card.
It is.
It's such a good card. It can get you anything, and then it reduces the cost of all the spells in your hand. Holy Smite. Trade,
8
okay.
to our face.
What else are you going to play? Another Spellkin. My goodness. You just played a clown, right?
I think so. This is our last clown.
Pretty much our last play. Do we sword and board to 4-5 and clear it?
I don't hate that, yeah.
Not that the order really matters since we have so much armor, but that's the correct order most turns. You want to develop the armor last, but in this case it really didn't matter. So he's at 12.
Yeah. And we're at 41.
And 12 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 5 turns of fatigue.
Yes. Our last card is Minefield. Oh, that sucks.
That's what he needed. But it wasn't enough. Still, I think he miscalculated. I don't think it would have mattered though. Anyways, he did the one trade, which was right. The second trade wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, five turns from that Alex Straza is...
Minefield?
Yeah, Minefield. That clears.
Hero power?
Hero power. He's still got another dragon. No, he doesn't, because he got the other spell.
He has one.
Mm. Yeah, he
does.
does.
One cost dragon.
And actually, now he's going to have 2. Yeah.
My worry is that it's old school Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Heal back to 15.
Well, not if he's going to hero power to heal back to 15.
I mean, later.
Oh, yeah. There's the amalgam from the Raised Dead.
That's from Raised Dead.
Yeah. Hero power pass.
Yeah.
He's drawing his last card. Oh, no,
No,
no. He's
next
got one
turn.
more, yeah.
I don't think we win. I think I want to give him one more turn
Yeah.
before we brawl. This isn't very impactful.
Hero
We
power
take the damage
pass.
10 to 4 at the most, or possibly 10 to 2.
Yeah.
I think we hero power pass. Save the brawl for next turn. I doubt he'll develop the last minion, but he might. That's good. He
didn't discover.
Deck. He didn't have a deck.
Oh.
It discovers out of your deck.
Oh, okay. Come on, 1/1. Leave the 1/1. Damn.
Not our luck. We needed the 1/1 or the 2/2 to live.
Yeah.
2. Yeah, we don't win now.
That's game.
Possible. That's game.
That's the other one he got off Dragon Alexstrasza. Dragon Queen
Yep,
Alexstrasza.
he was waiting until we used the last brawl, so he had the guaranteed lifesteal.
Yep.
He played that right.
Yes, he played it really well.
No, we normally play best out of 3, but I think we're done.
Yeah, that was a really long game.
What is fine. That's a bad matchup, I would assume.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So, but like I said at the beginning of that, priest games tend to go long, especially when you're playing. You're both really playing control.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna open one paladin pack here.
Like I said, I'm saving mine.
I just got Legendary? All right. Double legendary.
Good ones too.
And Finley. Like I said, I was only missing 8 cards, and 6 of them are legendary. So
now you're missing 6, and 4 of them are legendary. So
yeah,
that's half of them, or maybe not half.
Yeah, no, it was a third of the legendaries I was missing. So all right, well there we go.
Oh, good.
So all right, gang. That's going to pretty much do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so already. And if you want to check out our patron-only Discord, head on over to patreon.com/heropower, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. All right, guys. Until next week, good gaming.
Bye. I'm late for my blitz cycle.